Linda sits in her bathtub as she listens to the news in which they are talking about pornography. The newsman thinks if anybody is born like Linda Borman, they will become a star, and not just an adult movie star but a real star. Then in 1970 in Dovey, Florida, Linda and Patsy are outside tanning their body. Patsy helps Linda remove her clothing so she will not have tan lines. Then Linda's mum shows up and asks Linda to get inside. Linda and Patsy go to a party, and there is a band playing music. Patsy tells the owner of the bar that something is missing in the band and that there should be girls dancing. Then the owner of the bar hires Patsy and Linda to dance on the stage. Linda is a bit shy at first, but she starts enjoying it. A man cannot help but notice the two girls. When they get out of the bar, a man whose name is Chuck Trainer approaches them and tells them they are good dancers. He asks if they will like to get paid for dancing. Patsy quickly agrees before the man offers them grass to smoke with him. Linda wants to refuse, but Patsy forces her. Later at home, Linda is on her way out when her mother stops her. Linda's mother and father are sitting inside the living room when she walks to the door. Her mother commented on her dress and asks where she is going. She tells her mother that she is going to Patsy's boyfriend's party and that she promised that she will be back by 10. She storms off before meeting Ray at the party. They both sit down to chat, then they kiss afterward. Chuck takes Linda to her house, then Linda tells him her story in the car. Linda had a baby when she was young. Her parents signed the baby up for adoption without Linda knowing. Her mom lied to her that she was signing circumcision papers. Chuck then asked Linda to introduce him to her parents and that if he gets to win them over, Linda will spend the night at his place, and if her parents are still not impressed, Stan will still have to spend the night at his place. Chuck met Linda's parents, and they like him. They think he is a nice guy. Chuck tells them he runs a restaurant and a bar. Linda and Chuck are seen clearing the dishes in the kitchen when they use that opportunity to make out before Chuck invites Linda to his house and they sleep with each other. Some months later they get married. Then Linda is seen cleaning the house when Chuck calls on the phone that he is in jail. Linda thinks it is a joke, but she went to pick him up. Linda asks what happened. Apparently Chuck is in some trouble with the police and he needs a huge sum of money. Linda offers to help, then Chuck takes her to an adult movie industry. Linda did not have an idea what she is being auditioned for at first, then she later catches on. Chuck shows the owners of the company his and Linda's sex tape and they hire Linda as an adult movie star. Then the producers worry that Chuck is going to be a distraction to Linda, then they sent him to get films on Linda's first movie shot, then Linda manages to pull it off well. 6 years later the company releases her first movie and it is a hit. It turns out to be a blockbuster movie. Linda's mother is seen watching her on TV. She looks sad and just switches off the TV. Then at her movie launch, she meets Mr. Hefner, whom they sit together when they were showing the blockbuster movie Deep Throat. Hefner told Linda that she is going to be a star and not just an adult movie star but a real star. Linda find it hard to believe that, but Hefner assure her. Then she is introduced onto the stage and she bowed to the audience and they gave a loud round of applause. Linda is then seen with a man taking a polygraph. The man asks if Linda's name is Linda Lovelace and Linda asks him to start with some simpler questions. He asks if she is currently working on a book about her life with Chuck Trainer, then she answers yes. Then the man asks if she was married to Chuck Trainer, then Linda starts to remember what happened during the past years. She remembers how Chuck started to assault her in bed and how she helped him raise money when he was in some sort of trouble with the police. Chuck took her to a bar and made her sleep with a man. They met at the bar and he seemed cool with it. Then she went to meet her mother in the middle of the night to tell her about Chuck, but she did not listen. She asks her mother if she can spend the night at the house, but her mother refuses and say a married woman should not leave her husband's house. Her mother told her she also has a baby when she was just 18 years old, with no one to help her. And no father to take care of the baby, until she met Linda's father who took her and the baby in, so she understands everything. Linda begged her to let her stay one night that Chuck used to hit her, but she refused. Then Linda's mother received a phone call from Chuck, asking if Linda is with her, then she turned Linda in. Chuck came to pick up Linda, and when they got home, Chuck started assaulting Linda and that was how she pushed her to join the adult movie industry. Chuck kept assaulting them even after joining the adult movie industry. Then Linda is seen with Chuck. They went to Patsy's store, which is now selling clothes in a boutique. Patsy takes Linda into the dresser room so they can talk. Patsy did not want to talk in front of Chuck because she did not seem to like him at all. Inside the dresser, as Linda is trying on clothes, Patsy tells her she is worried about her and not the movie she is making. Patsy asks if it is Chuck that is forcing her to do everything, but Linda did not want to tell Patsy, because Patsy might act in a rash manner, and Chuck might hurt her. Then Linda notices Chuck coming towards the dressing room and she quickly changes the topic. She told Patsy she is lucky to have met Chuck. Then Chuck opens the curtains and tells Linda to hurry up, because they have important meetings to attend to. Then they have a small party at a bar with the members of the company. Butchie Perino, who is a member of the company, told Linda they are going to add to her salary. Linda did not mention it to Chuck. Chuck gets angry when he finds out from Butcher Perino. When they get home from the party, Chuck punishes Linda by making her under the cold shower. Linda regrets talking to Butcher Perino about her salary for the sequel, and since that day she did not talk to anybody about her salary again. The man doing the polygraph asks if Chuck controls Linda's finances, and she said yes, and that he controls everything. Linda never saw a penny, not even after Linda and Chuck moved to Malibu. Linda and Chuck start selling sex toys, and Chuck wants his name written on all of the sex toys being made. Then Hefner hears and sends an assistant to them. Then they receive a visit from Anthony, the man Chuck is owing money, and also their partner is selling sex toys. Anthony comes inside to greet Linda, then he and Chuck went out to talk. Chuck tells Anthony that he needs a couple of more weeks. Anthony wants Chuck to make Linda film Deep Throat 2, 3, 4 and their debt will be cleared. Then Chuck tells Anthony that he is going to set Linda up with a guy who owns half of the adult bookstores in that town so they can get the money back. Linda remember at the night of the movie launch party, she saw Chuck leaving the theater when she is on the stage, and Hefner offered to take her home, since Chuck left in their car. Linda did not want to go home because Chuck might assault her, but Hefner suggests she goes home. Then when she got home she did not see Chuck in the house, then she called her father. She told them about the movie premiere, and when her mother left for the kitchen, her father told her that he saw her movie, and asked if they were the ones that did something that made her enter the adult film industry. But she cannot talk about it. She saw Chuck coming inside the house, then she hang up, she go with Chuck into a small argument, and then Linda told Chuck she is going to stop shooting an adult movie. Chuck did not say anything but instead took her hand and said they should go to another party. Then Chuck took her to a hotel and had some group of men gang abused of her, and he collects money from them. Linda screamed in pain, and then Chuck took her home. After then, when the car finally stopped, Linda got down and tries to run away, but Chuck caught up with her and got wounded. Then a police car was coming towards them, then Chuck waved, then the police got down and asked Chuck to move away from her. Then he told them that he is her husband, and the police asked if Linda is okay, then she said she was okay. Then one of the police recognized Linda and asked for her autograph before they went inside. The following day Linda sneaks out of the house and then calls Anthony. She met Anthony and he saw her swollen face, then she tells him she is going to stop shooting adult films and then lodge into a room in the hotel. She takes her bath, and then has a peaceful sleep. Chuck keeps calling hotels he thinks Linda might have lodged into, but he cannot get through to her. Then Anthony calls him that he knows where Linda is. Chuck goes over to his surprise. He meet Anthony and his men in the room. He asks where Linda is and Anthony tells him they have switched rooms. Then Anthony orders his men to grab Chuck. Then Anthony hit Chuck with a belt and tells him not to ever think of or see Linda again. 6 years later, Linda already has a child and a husband. She is seen cooking inside the room when she receives a phone call that the polygraph has been approved, and that all she said about her and Chuck is true. She gets interviewed where she told the world she is a changed person, and that she got caught in all those stuff, because her mother raised her to obey her husband, and which she did. When she first met Chuck, he is a gentleman before he changes to a monster. Her mother cried when she saw the interview. Then on the day of her father's retirement, Linda's husband drive her and their child to Linda's parents' house. Then he tells Linda to go in first, so she can meet her parent, before Linda sees her father, then gave him a rather tight hug. Then her mother hug her too and apologize. They eat together after a long time. And this is how the movie ends. Thanks for watching, see you tomorrow. Have a look to the other videos and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a comment to help the channel. Thanks guys for watching.
I can't take no loss, yeah. I don't even know what it costs, yeah. I hit the ground then it go off, yeah. Hit the ground.